Welcome to Ek Samvaad at Arunima Ankuran. Today we are in conversation with Mr.Sarang Awad. He's the DCP Traffic Nagpur. We are going to talk to him about sharing responsibility for safer roads. Good afternoon and welcome to Ek Samvaad, sir. Thank you for being here.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure always.
A word about Arunima Ankuran. This is an initiative for positive social change through self-development. The goal is greater well-being and happiness for all. At Arunima Ankuran, we believe that each person is unique and special in some way, that each person can have an impact and make a difference. And it's such an honor and privilege to have someone who's in uniform here with us today and who's making a big difference to how the traffic on the roads of Nagpur city works. So once again, sir, thank you so much for your time. Let me just introduce him. Mr. Sarang Awad has done his BSc and MBA. He has received the DG's insignia in 2014, President's Medal for Meritorious Service in 2018. Belated congratulations, sir, on your achievements.
Thank you, ma'am.
And currently he is posted in Nagpur as the DCP of the traffic of the city. So we're going to talk to him about how we can make safer roads and the role of people in doing that, the public in doing that. So the traffic police has done a study of Nagpur's traffic was conducted by a special team led by Joint CP Aswati Dorje and DCP Sarang Awad. The analysis of some accidents also revealed that apart from the infrastructure, outright failure to comply with speed limits and wear helmets is one of the major contributing factors. So it is very sad that we are losing young lives because people are not careful on the roads. And I think this conversation is really overdue because we need to start sharing responsibility for safer roads as parents, as educators, as psychologists, media professionals, citizens, NGOs, youth, organizations. I think all of us have a role to play, and we are going to request Sir to talk to us about how he visualizes the role of the people and also the fact that the traffic police can only do that much. It is also up to the citizens. So, sir, we start from what is happening currently on the roads of the city,
Right.
and please share with us what you think should be the role of people.
Right. I'll just give you a brief overview. India has the distinction of having the highest number of accidents in the world, and so also the fatality. Secondly, Maharashtra is also not lagging behind. Maharashtra is second. It's vying for the second or third position. I hope it doesn't come to the first position. So it's nearing the peak as far as yearly deaths are concerned. Nagpur city, to be specific, is no different from any other city in the state. But Nagpur city in the last 2 or 3 years has had a boom of construction activity, especially the widening of the roads, concretization of the roads, flyovers, and also the ring road completion. So what has happened post-COVID is that we have seen a surge in traffic accidents, especially fatal accidents, and we have increased number of fatal accidents in the city. That's the accident scenario. Nagpur city has 3,600 odd cameras which look after the traffic conditions. We monitor the traffic through that. We have about 300 to 400 e-devices through which we carry out the enforcement. We have 2 interceptor mobile vehicles through which we carry out the speeding cases. We also have about 20 odd breath analyzers through which we carry out the drunken driving cases. We have a staff of about 650 people and about 30 odd officers. We have 10 divisions we call zones in the whole city. We have 164 signal light junctions, and about more than that, like 200 to 300 junctions, which are important junctions, are non-signalized. Due to the increasing traffic on the roads, and also we have a population of about 3 million and a vehicular population of about 16 to 17 lakhs. which includes 3 to 4 lakhs of four-wheelers and a floating population every day passing through the city due to the heavy national highway traffic. That is the Jabalpur road, then the Chindwara road, then we have the Agra road, we have the Hyderabad road. That's all. We have about 22 flyovers in the city, which help in speedy decongestion of the traffic. But now come rainy season and you have congestions all over the city due to two things: one, the heavy downpour, and two, the condition of the road.
Yes.
So Nagpur is witnessing an increase in the fatal accidents, but these accidents are concentrated on fringe roads, roads in Hingna, MIDC, Gondkheri, that is MIDC area near Hingna, which goes towards Amravati. And secondly, we have Kamti Road, that is on the highway, outer ring road highway. These are the major roads where we have fatal accidents. Otherwise, the city as such doesn't have any accidents. Maybe a one or two freak accidents wherein a pedestrian or a two-wheeler who hit some road or slipped. That's the scenario about Nagpur city. As far as the RSP, that is the road safety patrol is concerned, wherein we come in for the awareness and the role of the public.
Yes.
We have about 48 schools and about 60,000 students which are enrolled on the road safety patrol register. And our people go to the schools and educate them about the basic knowledge. Then they know how to regulate traffic in cases of emergencies. These children can help us out to regulate the traffic. Even they can regulate the traffic on the main roads of their school when the school is about to end in the evening. So that's
That's
the scenario,
amazing.
ma'am.
Wow. That's really nice. Wonderful. So when we're talking about the role of the people, in terms of their own on-road behavior, what are some of the things
Yes,
that have you've been observing? And
yes,
like
yes.
one of the things that I notice is particularly just हम बगल में ही जा रहे हैं तो they won't wear the helmet कि पास में
Absolutely
जा
correct.
रहे हैं.
Absolutely
So
correct.
this kind of
Yes.
attitude, please talk to us about your
Yeah.
perception of that.
To very, very pointedly answer it, all the two-wheeler accidents in the last 3 years have been of people, fatal accidents have been of people who are not wearing a helmet. So that's how pertinent it is. You need to have a helmet, you need to wear a helmet. And I suppose it won't if it's a very serious accident involving a big vehicle, of course your helmet would be of no use. But I can assure you that in at least 65 to 70% of the cases you can and you are bound to be saved because of the helmet, because most of these injuries are head injuries, most accident injuries of involving two-wheelers. So that's how important it is to wear a helmet. So the pretext that you are telling me are not endemic to Nagpur. I have been DCP traffic in Pune also, and these were the alibis put up by the people over there also. And Pune has shown a continued opposition, dogged opposition to wearing helmet. Nagpur, by that standards, is quite accepting. In the city nearby the civil lines, we have people wearing helmets, and the compliance is about 90 to 95%. But this weathers down as you go to the outskirts, and then in places like Indora, Jaripatka, or Kapil, you have hardly any person wearing a helmet, and that's the common pretext that you are telling. यही तो जा रहे थे, पास में जा रहे थे, बच्चा गाड़ी पे है, मैं कैसे हेलमेट पहन,
Right.
भाजी लेना था, बारिश तो नहीं, इतना गर्मी हो रहा है, बाल झड़ते हैं, दिखाई नहीं देता, या हॉर्न सुनाई नहीं देता, the vision is limited because of the helmet, then I get a headache, then I have some spondylosis of the neck or something, I have a heart issue, I have people coming to my office, coming with their challans saying that they should be deleted or they should be let off because they come up with doctor certificates saying that he should not wear a helmet because he's having this helmet. My only answer to them is that if you can't wear a helmet, please don't drive it. So that is bad. So the antagonistic attitude towards enforcement in general and the helmet issue in particular is the
Yeah,
hallmark of every city. Nagpur is no exception to that. That is
that's
sad but true.
so. What can we be doing about it? What are some of the things that
Right
you think
from
we
my
should do?
right from my side, I am the enforcing man. I am the enforcement.
Hmm.
So other things which include education, engineering, enforcement,
Hmm.
I carry out the enforcement part, and to some extent the education part also. But
Hmm.
the engineering part, which involves all these agencies which are a part of this whole endeavor.
Hmm.
For example, the National Highway Authority of India,
Hmm.
then the PW division which constructs these roads, the
Hmm.
metro which constructs these metros or the flyovers, and the NMC which has all these works going on the road, say overground or underground, yeah, sewerage works also, or the drainage
Hmm.
works also.
Hmm. Hmm.
They play a major part in that. So they should be on board. They are on board, of course.
Hmm.
But finally, at the end of the day, the brunt is borne by the traffic police, because they are the visible arm of the government standing on the road, and so visible that he wears a white shirt that makes him all the more visible,
Hmm.
and then open to the public ire, so to say, in case of any such dispute. So
Yes.
that is what the traffic police does. But as you are rightly pointing it out, all other agencies have to be on board with that.
Hmm.
NMC is also on board, but due to some funding issues, there
Hmm.
are some lacuna which we are looking into. But then
Hmm.
we are also doing some good work where we are having this 75 stretches of roads all over the city where they are going to be declared as parking zones. So
Hmm.
the city will have at least a parking area wherein haphazardly parked vehicles will not lead to accidents. Then
Yes.
we have good Samaritans all over. We have a Jana Akrosh institution which helps the traffic police. We have so many other Save Life foundations. We have IRASTE
Hmm.
which are on board with us, and we are doing a good job with that. But then the involvement of the common public is there, and that is
Yes.
what I would like to stress on this. So unless the people are involved, I can give a deterrent effect by my strict enforcement. But if it doesn't come from within,
Yes.
enforcement, my deterrent effect has no value or no.
Yes. That's true. And for example, we just know of the most recent incident. What is the role that the public should play so that we can save that life at least? And a lot of the time, people are afraid that, if we report, if we help. So please talk to us about that aspect.
Very, very pertinent question, ma'am. The incident which you are telling me is happened yesterday afternoon, wherein a boy who was following the traffic rules and crossing the signal, he met with an accident from the oncoming wrong side vehicle, which was also a two-wheeler. Uh, I'm very sorry about the sad demise of a young budding soul.
Yes.
Uh, I my full feelings are with his parents. Uh, what is happening in Nagpur precisely is that the number of accidents vis-a-vis the last year of the 2020 or 2019 is more or less the same, or in fact it has decreased, but the fatalities are increasing. That means the ratio of an accident getting converted into a fatal accident is more. So you
Mm.
have accidents converting into fatal accidents very, very easily. What I'm trying to tell you is that a person, if he's not getting the immediate treatment in that golden hour, he
Yes.
succumbs to such injuries and fatalities. That's why the fatalities are increasing,
Mm.
though the accidents are decreasing. This is because first, timely intervention by the people around is not seen,
Mm.
wherein they can at least ring the control room or the
Mm.
nearest police station, 112 or 100,
Mm.
or they can just pull in together and take the injured to the hospital. So that is probably not happening. Also, of course, the government and the government agencies have to chip in with their ambulances. We have
Mm.
108 ambulances that are available, but then this delay is costing life. So I urge the citizens of Nagpur to please come forward. And to answer your second point of your observation is that people are afraid. I don't see there is any reason to be afraid, because in most of the cases, as of now,
Mm.
most of the cases, we don't even take the statement of the person who has brought the man to the.
Mm. Okay.
Secondly, it's an accident. It's not an investigation into an offense.
Yes.
So the person bringing the person there is no, by no stretch of imagination can be considered as an accused by the police.
Mm.
So I frankly don't see any reason to be afraid of doing that. And that precisely is the reason why are you someone is called a good Samaritan and someone is not, a good citizen and someone is not. That is where you go that extra mile. That is where you take that risk.
Yes.
When you have two things on your mind, one is the life of an innocent individual hanging in balance, and other is some statement which can be recorded by the police. You see the inconvenience. That
Yes.
is very, very trivial compared to the life of that person. So I urge people to just consider that, go out of their way and help and help. That might save many lives.
Are there any initiatives that the traffic police is taking so that they can, make people more aware of the benefits of good on-road
Yeah,
behavior?
many of them. Apart from the enforcement, we have all these traffic junctions where you can hear the voice of the radio jockeys and DJs urging people to wear helmets, urging people to stand behind the zebra crossing in a very funny or very light mood way, in a very light-hearted. So
Mhm.
that also makes a difference. We have kids of the RSP doing that. We
Mhm.
have we have n number of programs on the FM radio or some pamphlets which we have distributed to schools on the roads. We have some again light-hearted things wherein we have a person dressed as a Yamaraj giving
Mhm.
roses to people on the intersections in collaboration with HDFC Bank, then in collaboration with Jana Akrosh, in collaboration with I Raste. We are taking so many of these initiatives. We are also getting into the scientific thing of it, as the study which you have mentioned. We have
Mhm.
identified about 23 black spots in the city and about more
Mhm.
than 50 gray spots which are likely to be converted into a black spot.
Mhm.
Black spot meaning a spot wherein there are repeatedly have serious or fatal acts.
Okay.
That we have done. Then we have taken on board all these agencies, the stakeholders, the road
Mhm.
building stakeholders,
Mhm.
and they are now, we are suggesting the remedial measures to them, and they are carrying out these measures, which involves straightening of a curve, which probably might involve some speed breakers, which might involve some rumbler strips, some lighting on that road, some
Mhm.
reflective strips on the road,
Mhm.
some engineering solutions to repeated traffic accidents.
Mhm.
One such accident spot was Chhatrapati Chowk, wherein we did a simple thing. We just put the signals there for 24 hours. Earlier,
Mhm.
the signals used to be from 9 o'clock in the morning to 9 o'clock.
Yes.
Just to, by seeing the signal, a person slows down his vehicle, and we have hardly had any fatal accident this year.
Mhm.
It's now 6 months. Last year, there were many accidents. So these things help. But again, I come to this back to the same point that if there is no involvement of the public, all these exercise of the traffic rank or all these things is futile. And the antagonistic attitude or the resistance to enforcement is also there. Now that we have got these towing vehicles,
Mhm.
that is also part of the remedial measures which you were asking. But as a policeman, though I have a strong tilt towards stricter enforcement, all these issues and all these measures also go a long way in curbing traffic accidents and also saving lives.
So for the violators, people who are in a rush and who are violating the law, uh, is there something that you would like to say as a human, not just as a policeman, but as a human being? And because see, the numbers that we are looking at when we talk of accidents, it's someone's
Yes,
daughter, son, husband, wife. It's
right,
a human
right.
being. It's a person. So,
Yes, yes. Before answering that, let me tell you the brief study that we have made. We generally do that. Most of the accidents, fatal accidents, we had 26 fatal accidents in June. So let us take the case of June. Most of the fatal accidents, 15 of them are from 9 o'clock in the night to 7 o'clock in the morning. More than half of them. So that speaks a lot. रात में अगर पुलिस वाला रास्ते पे नहीं है, सिग्नल बंद है, तो आपको गाड़ी किसी भी तरह से चलाने का, स्पीकर भी बिना हेलमेट पहने भी चलाने का आपको लाइसेंस नहीं मिला हुआ है. That is one thing I would like to say. Secondly, most of these accidents are involving either two-wheelers or heavy vehicles. Heavy vehicles wherein there are head-on collisions, wherein the two-wheeler wala is not having a helmet or he is not having his headlights on, where the four-wheeler wala or the truck wala doesn't see him, and two-wheeler accidents wherein there are head-on collisions
mm,
or hitting the pedestrian.
Yes.
So what I am trying to drive home the point as to your question is that if people look at these things, if people are aware of this, they
Yes.
will understand that if you are giving your kid a vehicle in the night, you bloody well give him a helmet.
Mm,
And the one thing apart from, and forgetting that I am a policeman, I would like to say that as a parent or
mm,
as a husband, as a brother, as a son, is that there is someone waiting for you at your home.
mm,
That is the most important that you have to keep in. Drunk and driving cases we have carried out, and let me tell you, number of cases that we are making are so less
mm,
compared to the people who drive drunk. That is one thing which people should desist from: drinking and driving. Thirdly, if you are not of that age, of you are underage,
mm,
parents should make it a point that आपका प्यारा बेटा, आपकी प्यारी बेटी, just for the love of it, आपने उनको कोई high end गाड़ी दे दिया है, two wheeler हो या four, and you are lovingly seeing him drive when he is 14 or 15 years. That's not that. You are putting her life in danger and probably some pedestrian's life also in danger. The government has increased the fines exponentially. It is making a deterrent effect, but at the same time, the government has taken a reliant view in saying that you are not you. It's not needed that you pay up immediately. Earlier, it was the case, but
mm,
now you have a time where you can pay after 15 days. You can GPay, you can pay online, you can use other payment gateways. So you,
mm.
when a traffic policeman stops you, it's not mandatory that you pay it there and then and there only the fine. So that also is slightly making people a bit complacent. That's what I would like to point out.
So let me ask you this question. We see a lot of people violating the laws while the
Hmm.
traffic police is doing its job. Where do
Yes,
you think is that temptation coming from? Do they have this feeling that I'll get away with it? Is that feeling
absolutely.
driving?
Yes, absolutely. Because you see, I have 550, 600 traffic policemen, of which about 200 to 250 traffic policemen are on the road. So the average traffic violations by a very conservative estimate in a city like Nagpur with 3 million population would be about 50 lakhs a day. Traffic violations throughout the city. आइडियल एकदम आपने हर ट्रैफिक वायलेशन अगर पकड़ लिया तो रॉन्ग साइड पार्किंग बिना हेलमेट लेन कटिंग सिग्नल जंपिंग जिब्रा क्रॉसिंग अगर each and every about 50 lakhs, that is my conservative estimate, and we carry out about 3000 cases. So imagine the gap. So it is very very likely, I would say it is more likely that you are not caught than it's likely that you are caught. So that issue is there, it is going to happen, it is there. So that makes people impudent, that makes people take risks. And finally, we have that tendency, na, kaise ullu banaya. Hoodwinking the law is a favorite pastime. Na?
And
So,
I think
what do I say?
from exactly the same thing, we can also
Mhm.
derive the notion that, for the exact same reason that the policeman can't be everywhere, you should be your own policeman.
Absolutely, absolutely. As far as traffic is concerned, yes. If we say about crime, I agree that there is some risk to it. वो
Hmm.
गुंडा है, कोई है, आपने कुछ आवाज उठा दिया तो आपको कुछ प्रॉब्लम होगा, आपको डर लग रहा है तो आपके पेरेंट्स बोलते हैं कि नहीं इसमें मत
Hmm.
पड़ो झंझट में झगड़े में.
Hmm.
I understand that.
Hmm.
But wherein traffic is concerned, it's such a benign thing.
Hmm.
If you obey traffic rules, your son will obey it tomorrow. So if you are the lone person standing on a red light at a deserted road on some highway,
Hmm.
there will be people who will see that and they will follow. यार ये बंदा ये रुक सकते तो हम क्यों नहीं रुक सकते आधे मिनट के लिए. That happens. You have to start from your. I'm driving a motorcycle since my college days. So it's now 30, 25, 30 years that I am driving. And I don't remember going out of my house ever without a helmet. Even today, when I take my son for a drive, my motorcycle, both of us wear helmet. That has to be there. That has to be. And for four wheelers, seat belts are a must. Again, in case of four wheelers, if you are wearing a seat belt, the fatality rate goes down drastically. Even if you meet with a fairly grievous or fairly serious accident, even then. So the co-traveler also should wear a seat belt.
Yes. So just to simplify it for everyone who's listening in, coming from the DCP Traffic Nagpur City, what are some of the 5 or 6 plain and simple things that all good citizens should follow?
Obey traffic rules. That goes without saying. Help others in distress. As far as possible, try not to enter into an altercation with the traffic cop, because he has n number of other things to do than wasting time arguing with you. If you have any issues with that, please don't pay the fine. You can pay it online, or you can apply to the DCP Traffic on the same portal, Maha Traffic portal, and I go through that application, and I have the powers to delete or alter the challan. So no point in getting an altercation with that. Fourthly, if you see any bad thing happening, for example, my people indulging in some unprofessional behavior or some other behavior, feel free to complain or put up your views on our Twitter handle, also on our WhatsApp number, and feel free to contact the traffic police. Remember, the traffic police is there to help you out. We are fighting so many hours at the same time. Of course, that's my duty, and I take pride in being the deputy traffic of this wonderful city. But I urge the citizens to please do that. And the last but not the least is always wear a helmet and a seatbelt while going out. And please don't drink at night. Please don't drink at
Yes. Thank you so much, sir, for being on Ek Samvad. It was a
night.
pleasure
And it's
talking to
always
you, and we
it's
hope
always
that
a
this
pleasure.
this drop in the ocean will make some difference to the
It
people who are
does
listening
make.
in.
Yes, ma'am. It does make, and I'm a firm believer. I'm a diehard optimist. So I think this will go at least some way in making people aware of what their duties are as far as traffic regulations are.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Have a nice day. Thank you.